Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. This is the channel where I look at Pokemon cards, primarily focusing on the artwork. Today's video is an artist's showcase of the artist GOTO Minori, who I don't think I've covered before. So I'm going to look at the 10 artworks that GOTO Minori has done in recent couple of years for the Pokémon TCG. I'm going to be showing you just the Japanese prints mainly today because that's the only ones I pulled out of the files. And yeah, there are 10 different artworks to look at, and I'm going to talk about their style and which ones I like, which ones I don't, etc. as we go through the 10 cards. So the first card they did was a Chatot, this Chatot here, which came out in Wild Force, the Japanese set Wild Force, and was in Temporal Forces in English. And I wasn't initially that impressed by this. It was a nice enough card. It's quite pale in its colorations, which means that the pink beak of Chatot really stands out, and the little bit of the colours of its plumage beyond. But it's a very washed out pale card, and it being a colourless card, that accentuates that. Now, as you'll see from GOTO Minori's style here, they have a cartoon style, and they do everything in outlines. And within the outlines, there's a flat infill of colour, so that every time there's a colour change, anything's a different colour, it's outlined to separate it from the other elements of the card. Their colour choices tend to be pretty vibrant usually, so this is quite a subdued one, but they're quite vibrant, but without that hypersaturation that gives a fluorescent feel that you get in artists like Kuromitsu, Yasukuni, or Mingo. Their style is more in keeping with people like Haru Akasaka or Mushu, KRGC to a lesser extent. Who else? Okubo, Yukihiro Tada, and I guess Tomoe Miyazaki is sort of also in this sort of style. But there's a lot of artists that use this sort of illustrative style. Very cartoon, very flat. And this was a card that just initially didn't particularly appeal to me, but it's a nice enough card. The second card is the Meditite, which came out in the Battle Academy and was in Stellar Crown in English. And again, very flat. As you can see, there is no variance in color anywhere within lines, so the lines define the blocks of color. It's a very interesting card with this strong shadow of Meditite sitting on top of a pillar of rock with the forest below. Again, it wasn't a card that hugely impressed me, but it did catch my eye. And you've got this very vibrant blue colour in Meditite, but it's not a fluorescent vibrancy. It's just a very strong cobalt blue. So that was the second card that came out. Now, the third card really did impress me, and this was the Enamorous from Crimson Haze, and it came out in Twilight Masquerade in English. And the reason it kind of impressed me was that I can't stand Enamorous. I think it's an awful, awful Pokemon. But this artwork caught my eye. Loved the use of the pinks and the Cartoon Network sort of cartoonish 90s, I guess, style. Dexter's Lab or something comes to mind. I don't know. A lot of kids' cartoons I didn't particularly watch but was aware of. It has that sort of energy. But it's a lovely use of the pinks and drama. And I was just amazed that anyone could do a card of this awful Pokemon that I actually liked. So I was quite impressed by that card. I thought it was one of the highlights of that set. The fourth card was this Veluza. Now, this one did definitely impress me. This came out in Stellar Miracle. Stellar Crown in English. I think that's Stellar Crown. Yeah. Now this one, yeah, the incredibly intense colors here. This blue sky is just so overpowering, and in combination with the pink of Veluza's fins. The perspective is great. Very, very graphic artwork on this. Beautifully designed. The balance of the line work is incredible. You'll see on some of GOTO Minori's cards, excuse me, the background, this Chatot, for example, the background line work that defines all the background elements is coloured line work. So only Chatot on this is outlined in black, and This is a reddish brown or a green or whatever. All the other elements are outlined in different colors. I mean, you've got that in the Enamorous as well here. But in some of Minori's work, the outlines are all black. But this, I thought, was a very powerful card. Really, really beautifully illustrated. Again, not a Pokemon. In fact, all these Pokemon are not Pokemon I have any interest in as Pokemon. They're all Pokemon I do not particularly like or actively dislike. The fifth card was the Flapple, which came out in Paradise Dragona in Japanese and was in Surging Sparks in English. And this one I really didn't like. I thought the foreshortening of Flapple's snouty face, it looked like it had flown into a pane of glass and was pressed up against it, because it has no depth of field in the facial shape of Flapple here. But as a piece of design with the wings and the apple core skin, whatever it is, I thought it was quite nicely done. It's just the face that really fails for me in this one. Probably my least favourite of the cards I'm going to be showing you today. We then had a reprint of the Chatot from the Start Deck generation, so you've just got a different number here. I'm just including this for completism. We'll put it down there. And then in Battle Partners, or Journey Together, we had two cards. We had the Mr. Mime, another Pokemon I cannot stand. And strange, yeah. I mean, I like the background with all the outlined different shades of green trees across the hillsides there. It's a representation of Mr. Mime that kind of fits Mr. Mime's personality. It's not a great card. It's okay. It's a bit weird to my eyes. And also the other one was the Iono's Electrode, which was far better for me. I mean, obviously Electrode, you can't really do a lot with Electrode. They've done the same. They did the same with Chatot's bill with a little circle of light reflecting on it there. But otherwise, it's flat infills of colour, and it's a cityscape. It kind of has that feel of whichever city it is. Begins with Levincia, is it? Yeah, it has that sort of feel of the city. But an okay card. It's not going to be a memorable card. There are very few memorable Electrode cards. Fukuda's one is an exception, and Arita as well. Then after that, we had the Primeape, which came out in Glory of Team Rocket or Destined Rivals. Again, it feels too flat for me. You know, Primeape is punching forward, but I don't feel that there's real perspective in this artwork. It feels flattened to me. Actually, I like Primeape as a Pokemon, so it's probably the first Pokemon we've had here that is one that I actually like as a character. But it's a kind of forgettable card. It's okay artwork, but it's very much in their style. And then we've got the Pansear, which came out in White Flare. Now, I really like this. Yeah, I really like this. I think it's just the cherry red really appeals to my eyes here. I kind of like the design as well. It's kind of symmetrical with Pansear reaching down to grab whatever berry this is. I can't remember, Chople or something. I don't know. Or is it a Persim berry? I'm too rusty on my berry identification, I'm afraid. Yeah, I think that's a nice bit of artwork. It's a little bit shaky in the lines, perhaps. But it's very much GOTO minori's style. And given that it's a Pokemon that nobody likes, except, well, I can cope with it. There's some very nice Pansear cards. That's a pretty good art rare. But I think it's the cherry red that really appealed to me. So we come to their most recent card, which is the Mega Kangaskhan. I'll get this out of the plastic. Now, this one came out in Mega Symphonia in Japanese and in Mega Evolution in English. And is playing very well in a current deck with the Absol. I thought this was brilliant. Real pop art colours here. Very, very chaotic. by far their best card, even though I do love these two as well. This is a really dramatic card of the Mega Kangaskhan with the liberation of the little baby Kangaskhan from the pouch. And there's a lot going on in this card, and it all just works very, very well. Every element of this card is balanced very well, and it's a beautiful card, and much better in Japanese, obviously, with the finer texturing, better print quality, and the Japanese characters being more authentic to the feel of the card in my eyes. So, yeah, GOTO Minori is an interesting artist who has a very distinctive style. I hope they continue to work for the TCG for a long while and produce interesting cards, because, yeah, they always add something to any set that they've been commissioned to do work for. But I think, yeah, of these cards, these three are clearly my favourite three, because these are all very, very good cards, and I would put them in that order, actually. I think that's probably my third favourite, my second favourite, but I think that is a very beautiful card. So that is a short video today of the work of GOTO Minori.